We've got another one of those Hyacinth bucket whiskies here, and if you don't know what I mean, then stick around because I'll explain shortly. This is Ledaig 10, spelled Ledaig. Hence the bucket reference. If that was what you were sticking around for, you may now leave. If you want to know what this whiskey tastes like, however, stick around. This is the peated expression from the Tobermory Distillery in the Isle of Mull. Ledaig has had, I think, a bit of a spotted history, I think is the nice way of putting it. Up until relatively recently, this was known as probably one of the shittest whiskies money can buy. It was the stuff that nobody went near. Even if you were like on your arse, you just fucking stay clear of this stuff. Distell are the current owners of Tobermory and a few other distilleries as well, and they've really turned Tobermory's fortunes around to the point where it is now taken as a serious contender as an island whiskey. And the reason for that is simple. The whiskey's really fucking good. Tobermory whiskey is excellent. I personally am more of a fan of the Ledaig just because I like my peated whiskies, and this one is an absolute star player. It really is. I want it to be more readily available because I want to be able to drink it everywhere. If a bar had this, I would drink it over Ledaig. Ledaig is one of my go-to whiskies when I'm out, which is weird because I don't normally have a bottle of Ledaig in the house, which is unusual given that I drink it all the time when I'm out. It doesn't make sense, does it? But I don't make sense, so that's fine. But if they had Ledaig, I would choose Ledaig over it. You can probably tell from me fanboying over this, I'm a big fan of this whiskey. And if you want to kind of skip ahead to my opinions, scores are down in the comment box below. But yeah, this is fucking tremendous. Do you know what? Let's drag this out a little bit. I'm going to kind of... the label itself doesn't have a great deal to say. I've gone with a miniature because I'm not made of money. Although if you want to help in that department, there'll be links down to my Patreon down below, and there are goodies. The £5 tier, you get an exclusive video each month, and you get to tell me what the fuck to do. You'll be called Karen, so it's a bit of fun, isn't it? If you just want your credits, that'll be £3, and if you just want to chuck us £1, you can do. But back to the whiskey. So it says Ledaig, aged 10 years, single malt Scotch whiskey, wonderfully peated. I can't disagree with that one. Isle of Mull, 46.3% ABV. To my knowledge, all Distell whiskies are 46.3. Why they picked that in particular, I'm not sure. I would assume the 0.3 is to make sure that it's definitely 46. So it gives kind of like a margin of error, basically, I think is the word that I'm looking for. Just to make sure that it is definitely that. Oh, yes. Oh, it's tar, it's old rope by the sea, it's seaweed, bladderwrack, it's the deck of a slightly knackered fishing boat. And at the same time, it's also peaty and caramelly and luxurious. It's like you tried making salted caramel with like smoked sea salt. And there's something a little bit kerosene-y about it. It's something a little bit of like oily old rags. There's something of like WD-40 and old paint tins. And there's something of Madeira cake, and there's something of custard, and there's something of just like wonderful toffees and caramels. It's a whiskey of two worlds, and there's this wonderful brininess that kind of ties it all together. And it just kind of brings out my inner poet for some reason. I don't really know why. That was my English degree coming out there. Whew, yes. It's like you got a load of sticky toffee sauce on your hands, and you were licking them clean, and you just remembered that you'd recently washed your hands with coal tar soap. Yeah, there's something medicinal and tarry and slightly acrid and nasty, and at the same time comforting and luxurious and smooth and buttery and warming and lovely and salty about it. The very first sip is like somebody took a sticky toffee bundt cake and smashed it into your face. And then you went to your granddad's shed to try and clean it off, and all the fumes of like old paint and stuff are getting into your nose. It's insane, like the sort of the journey it takes, because it goes through so many like slaloms in terms of like flavour mapping. It shouldn't work, but it really does. I'm gonna chuck some water in it now. Right, with water, some of the smoke gets a little bit subdued and more of the kind of like the brine and tar come out. Yeah, there's something really workshoppy and grungy about it. It's oil, it's industrial lubricant, it's tar, it's a bit of like diesel and stuff in there as well. It's really mechanical and oily and rough. But then the flavour is butter cookies and a glass of milk. And like a hint of smoke at the end. Almost like somebody's cooking smoky bacon and you can just about taste it. It still stuns me the price that this goes for. It's about, you can get it for about £36, 38, sometimes dips into the 40s is the kind of range. It's still worth it at 45, to be honest. It's not the going price. I would still pay it in a pinch, but what it's worth is about 38, realistically, is what you can expect to pay for it. If you find it for less, go for it. Just go for it. They recently released a no age statement, which is a Rioja finish. I am intrigued, but it's about the same price as the 10, and the 10 is a known quantity to me, and it is such a good known quantity. I think this could easily overtake like a Kalila or a Lefroig in like a Petered Fanboys collection, because it knocks the spots off them in some ways. It shows them how to do it, and how to have a bit of attitude, and how to have something that's not just smoke and peat. To have it in there, but have more to them as well. It's... I really need to get a full bottle. I don't know what it is with me and peated whiskies where I don't get full bottles very often. I don't know why, but I need to do that at some point. Anyway, let me know down below, have you tried Ledaig? Did you know that that's how you pronounce it? Should I do a pronunciation video of all whiskey ever known to man at some point? Why did I just say that? That would be a ludicrously mammoth task. Thumb the video if you enjoyed it, and if you're not already subscribed, then do please consider it, because I do these shenanigans quite a lot. Thank you very much for joining me, and do join me next time where I'll be drinking something else.